For those of you that don't believe Gypsy Rose should be still in prison, allow me to present my case. This photo right here was 2 weeks before the unaliving of Gypsy Rose's mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. And if you look in these photos, she has what in her hand? Now, if we're going to be honest, and I believe that that's what we want, right, is honesty, Gypsy Rose herself has always admitted that she was the one who stole the ICE out of Walmart.
I talked to Nick. He had me talk to Victor, who initially was the one that was going to do it. And he was like, ask Victor, please. And I said, Victor, will you please come to my mother for me? Because I can't do it myself. This was over the computer. Victor said that he had conditions. One condition would be, it was a knife. The other condition is he would have to rape her after he raped her. And I told him, absolutely not. I'm not okay with that. And he said, it's either Victor's way or the highway. Like, Victor won't do it if you don't agree. It's my terms. So I said, fine, use the knife, but you are not raping her. He's like, well, fine, I'll make you a deal. It's either her or you after. And I said, me, because I won't let you do it to her.
Now, based on her own testimony, do we still believe that Nicholas Godejohn was the one who created this fictional character or this fantasy? Now, she herself also admitted, and if you look at my previous post, she admitted that she had different personalities or different fantasy egos. Nicholas Godejohn did admit to having a alter ego named Victor. But in my honest opinion, I think that's the alter ego Gypsy Rose had him create to follow this storyline. Now, why would he only have one and she would have several? She seemed to be more into it than he was. Now, she also was one of those adults that always went to see Comic Cons and dress up in fantasies and Disney princess and that kind of thing. We've already seen that, correct? Based on us already seeing that, she already had a history of this. And here are some of the photos with her and her wigs and her different personalities. Okay, so now that we've seen those, when we see pictures of Nicholas and everything from his history, we see him in regular clothes. We also hear his mom speak about how he was a great kid. He really wasn't a problem. She was so shocked in the interrogation. Isn't it kind of a little alarming to hear all of this and then all of a sudden he goes to Victor? I think Gypsy was smart enough to manipulate him to create this character. And you see where she says, and I had to ask Victor. And Victor said it was his way or the highway. Then she proceeds to say that Victor initially said that if he couldn't grape her mom, then he didn't want to do it. Do we really believe that? Because considering Gypsy had already admitted to Ruby liking to grape people in this fantasy person, ego, alter ego, do we still believe that this is true? She claimed that alter ego was to fit Nicholas Godejohn's personality, Victor, but if that's the case, why did she have several? Also, after her saying she told him, no, you cannot grape my mom, but you can grape me, I'll agree to that. She has a video that she recorded herself after the unaliving in the hotel room, and I want you guys to watch this.
Hi, honey. I'm doing it. He's eating a brownie. But later he will be eating me.
Okay, now that we see this, do we really believe that she was so distraught she said, don't do it to me? No, she said about the brownies. I don't even want to repeat it because it was gross, especially after your mom was just unalived. That alone should make us not trust her. Regardless whether or not her mom was wrong, there was still a grieving. This is a woman that you lived with. This is a woman that took care of you. This is a woman that you went to Disney with. This was a woman that you were living your life with. And she was just unalived at the hands of you and this guy. But you are in the room like this. And this is the part that I think a lot of people are missing. Whether Gypsy Rose was a victim or not, the natural person would still have grieved. They would still miss someone. Like she says now, she still misses her mother. Now, how did she miss her now, but she does not miss her right after this happened in this hotel room? It didn't bother her at all. Either she's that cold-hearted, which I believe she is, and she set this up, because Nicholas has always admitted guilt. even in the interrogation, when Gypsy Rose didn't. I honestly don't know how much of the situation I believe is abuse in her later years because of the fact that in the interrogation, Gypsy never mentioned abuse. Did you guys ever realize that? At 0 point in that interrogation did Gypsy admit abuse. That alone should be alarming to each and every one of you. Come on now, wake up. It was said that Gypsy Rose was actually very spoiled. Her mom gave her every and anything that she wanted or needed, and that she had the whole world at her disposal. Now, also, let's also mention that the fact that she had her laptop, she had a phone, she was communicating with all these men, and this was not the only man that she was communicating with. That alone really makes you alarmed. The fact that Nicholas Godejohn knows about Dan, is that not alarming to anyone? And the fact that he said he would apologize to everyone but Dan? Now, you all have been condoning her being outside of prison, but if you really ask me, she was the entire mastermind of this entire situation. Nick was manipulated, and I'm not saying that he shouldn't serve some time, but I also think he needs mental help. Again, if you agree with me, go to the link in my bio. It says Linktree, and it says Nicholas Godejohn's petition. I'm not saying Nicholas Godejohn should be a free man. I just do believe that he deserves a proper trial. And I think that he needs an evaluation. I will say this over and over again. And then they can come up with a treatment plan and figure out where does he go from there. But he deserves that because at this point he hasn't received that. Even in Nicholas Godejohn's hearing, she admitted that she said that he would protect her, and she kept riding on the fact that he said that he would protect her. At no point did she actually really say her mom was abusing her. This did not come out until after all of this. Again, I will say this for the 1000th time. Do I believe she was abused? Yes, in her younger years. Do I believe she was currently being abused at the time of this? No. And I will stand 10 toes down on that because I still believe that she just wanted to be a hot pocket and do her thing. I don't think that it was what it was at the time that she said it was. She was absolutely trying to be a hot pocket. And she used Nicholas so that she could. Because at the time of her mom's arriving, her, Dan, and Nicholas, and God knows what other man she was involved with. I don't know, y'all, but what's your opinion? Do you think that I have presented a case? Do you think she's as innocent as she's trying to say she is? I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I think I've presented enough of a case to let you know that there's more to this story than she has led you to believe. Now, I might be completely wrong, but I actually think I'm right. I think that she has proven time and time again that she was the mastermind. And a lot of people are disregarding that. And they're saying, regardless, she's a victim. She was a victim and she was a perpetrator. Nick is a victim too. And for some reason, I don't know if it's because he's a man, but everyone's overlooking that. Do I think Nick's an angel? No. I think he had his part in this crime. But I think because she actually took the actual weapon, she handed him gloves when he walked in the door, which I actually believe she had already passed. But if we're going to take her word for it, she set up the whole thing. And she should not be out scot-free while that man's sitting. And this is why you'll never be able to convince me that Gypsy Rose should be out here on these streets. I really truly think that she's a danger, and everybody's disregarding that. I hope you guys all have a great day. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye for now.